Good evening, ma.
Good evening. God bless you. How are
Amen. I'm fine by God's grace. Please, how about you?
you? Let me. I'm just trying to put up lights on YouTube.
Okay, ma.
How are you? How are you?
By God's grace.
Thank God.
Amen.
Good, 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 good. Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
We
It's
are
good.
live on Building Bridges Thursdays. Thank you for connecting with us. Let me put my camera. Good. You see me?
Yeah.
Good, good, good. How have we been? I hope life has been good to us.
Yeah, by God's grace.
Good. We thank God for that.
And you, mm, and you
We thank
looking
God for
pretty
that.
as well.
Yeah. God is good. God is good.
Fine.
So hopefully we have our usuals joining us this evening. But yeah, we move on to this week topic. You were not here with us last week.
No, I wasn't. I
Mm,
came, but it was finished.
it was it was late. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Thank you for being consistent.
Mm.
Mm, it was a nice time where we discussed a lot
Mm.
about the affiliate stigma and what it is. Okay. We're just going to continue before our co-presenter and other moms and professionals come in. I have with
Okay.
me here Minister Tina. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, ma.
So we have been discussing uh, affiliate stigma. So we've discussed what it is. It is that feeling, you know, it's like transfer of. So if maybe some of us that have children with that is within the spectrum,
Mm-hmm.
probably in the moment of meltdown or one issue or the other, as the moms have discussed here, the pain, the shame, and the challenges that's being felt. But specifically, we're focusing on the young people, the siblings, the teenagers, the impact it has on them.
Mm.
So, but today we've discussed that, and we want to move from discussion to actually identifying it. And some of us call for a conference or a
Mm.
summit of awareness and education so that people can actually empathize with families, because we encourage a lot of people that instead of being neutral or being judgmental, because sometimes we don't say anything. Our body language say it all. We find a way to be supportive, not just to the affected person, but to the families as well, especially the siblings. So today we want to talk about identification. I don't know, maybe you could invite someone that a mom that you know that will benefit with this session.
Okay. I'm sending it to them.
Yeah. So, where do I feel stigma in my family? So this is just a rhetoric question to every one of us, because sometimes we internalize these feelings without actually naming it. And it becomes like a burden, and we carry it, and it affects the way we show up. How am I internalizing? What beliefs have I absorbed because of this stigma? As a parent, it might be you have that guilt, elements. People judge you that if you're a good parent enough, you are not you are not being you are not parenting your child right. Some, maybe you are in the religious circle, probably is the sin you have committed, or your child is being demonized, So a lot of things. What are these beliefs that we have unintentionally, unconsciously absorbed because of the stigma? And then we're going to discuss what truth or reframing challenges that belief. Now, for example, people will say a lot of things to your ear, and I remember at the time, my daughter had a meltdown at school. So I was at work, I was called, but by the time I got there,
Hello, Daddy.
she was very agitated. Are you hearing me? Hello? Okay. So there was a moment she was agitated, and then they were now asking what happened at home. What was it? She looks like she's afraid. What happened? What did you do? Instead of being supportive, there was a lot of question, which, if not for my profession, it would have put me on edge. But I do understand the safeguarding rules around children, and that's helped me to navigate the situation calmly and understandably, explaining the situation, because at the end of the day, the child welfare is paramount. So is what matters to everyone. And this sometimes can affect us as parents, because you think you're doing everything, you're overwhelmed, you're stressed, and at the end of the day, you're being accused, fingers are being pointed to you. So it can be very, very disconcerting. But nonetheless, we can challenge this behavior, these beliefs, you understand, by the truth that we believe. You know what you're doing for your child. You know. How can we do this if we are having the right understanding, if we are having the right knowledge, understanding that even the people that are doing this, they are doing
Yes.
it to the book.
Yes.
Hello, we have
Good
more people
evening.
with us. Ah, for joining.
Yeah, I had a program that I just came back from. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good
So,
evening, everyone. Tina, how are you?
hello.
Good evening.
Evening.
How are you today?
By God's grace, Miss Uba. Ugu.
You
We
look
thank
so plump in this your picture.
Hey, we thank God.
Hello. Who is our Zoom user, please?
It's
Uh,
me. Good evening,
the
women of God.
Pauline. Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
I'm blessed. Thank you.
We thank God. We thank God. So I just want to bring us back a little bit that what we have talked about last week about the affiliate stigma.
Yes.
So as I was making more research on it, most of the time, apart from discussing it, how do we engage with this situation? So one of the things I've talked about is we identify it. So as parents, as siblings, when we are supporting our children as well, last week, one of the parents encouraged us to have this open discussion, communication, to be able to break that barrier. So one of the things is, where do I feel stigma in my family? What is that in my family system? What's that thing that seems like a stigma, something that makes us apart? And number two, in what area have I internalized this? That is, does it affect me? This internalized, like, what beliefs have I absorbed because of this? You know? So I now give an example about myself that at a time I was at work and my daughter had a meltdown at school. So I was called. In getting there, I was now being questioned. The question was being thrown at me. What have I done? What happened? Why is she like this? So safeguarding was being raised. You understand that moment. So I now said that one of the reasons that I was able to navigate it with calmness was more because it's my area of work.
Specialty, yes.
Because if not, I'm coming, I'm rushing, I'm overwhelmed, I'm tired. Me going to have a secular job, it was, plus the fact that I'm caring for someone that needs me. And now I'm being accused, of all those things. But because I also understand that safeguarding is everybody's business, and the well-being of the child is paramount, is the most important thing, is what matters. So I did not allow myself to be brought down. But generally, it's overwhelming because you are putting all your efforts to make things work. But you felt that people are doubting you, that you might be abusing your own child. And to be honest, it does happen, because we are not all the same. But here is, what beliefs have I absorbed because of this? And now we come to the next one, which we'll be dealing with today, especially with our young people. So you as an adult, you understand who you are in the life of your daughter. You understand the sacrifice you are putting in the life of your child. So the question here is, what truths or reframing challenges that belief? How do you interrupt that? If a child is being stigmatized because of their own siblings that is in the spectrum, and when we have that conversation with them, we will find out that sometimes they feel guilty, sometimes they have this resentment, sometimes they believe maybe the things people are saying, or they start feeling insecure. So how do we help them? What truths will break that mindset, that belief system that is building and slowly eroding their self-esteem? How do we challenge those? So that was where I was, and I want every one of us to have a discussion around that. So I will structure it, but like we said, this is we are on YouTube, so if you're not comfortable to show your face or to name yourself or to share uh, personal challenge or experience, that's okay. There's no pushing, so we are just here to be able to
Go.
navigate, because you realize that it's not just me that's going through this situation. And probably at a time you felt like the world is against you, but as we all are expressing, and then we bring in the professional aspect of it, you realize that whatever, especially the professionals, the teachers, the social worker are doing, is not personal to you. It's their routine, it's their work, and it's what is being expected by the system. So I will, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Now, yes.
Okay. So I wanted to point out that in one of our meeting,
Yeah.
parents pointed out how during the first time the daughter had her menstrual period, how
Yeah.
it became a safeguarding issue.
Yeah.
The child, the brother and the father were actually placed under surveillance kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
So what you have just described, apart from affiliate stigma, there is also affiliate, is it punishment? I should call it
Exactly.
affiliate,
Yeah,
trauma.
trauma, because the stigma, it's expanded. It brings
Yes.
shame. It brings low self-esteem. It challenges your capacity as a parent. It
Yes.
puts you on suspicious every time. Even when you try to discipline your child, sometimes
You
you are
become,
being,
yeah.
the radar is on you. You
And these are
understand?
children that some of them, for me, like for instance, for me, this is a child that would watch you and want to make sure that you are very serious about what you have to make them do before they actually even listen to you. They want
Exactly.
you to be as serious as possible. Sometimes you have to be very stern. You have to show them that, look, you must do this. And then in the definition of what we are going through as a safeguarding, there is a very thin line between safeguarding and discipline in this our situation, because what makes it even more difficult is that the safeguarding for them is now, the bar is raised because they feel, yeah, these children cannot tell what happened or how it happened. So the
Exactly.
protection is
Exactly.
a lot more aggressive than when it is a child who can tell what happened or what's not happened. And
Exactly.
forget that in the midst of all this, in the midst of all this rancor, in the midst of all this struggle between parents, social worker, government, neighbors, everybody you is watching like a hawk to catch you doing things. The siblings are in that toxic environment.
Yes.
Everyone in that environment is suffering. I remember a situation when my youngest baby needed to go out to the park. It was summer like this. He just wanted to go out. But the sister refused to go out. She doesn't want to even step outside. And in the midst of our problem, the small one was crying that he wants to go out. The older one on the spectrum is crying that she doesn't want to go out. And both of them were wailing in the house. And I was just sitting on the floor. I didn't know who to go with. Should I
I get that.
should I
Yeah.
take this small one out? Should if I take her out, take him out? If anybody steps in now, it will be a safeguarding concern. And
Exactly.
sisters and brothers, if you are there, do you know that a social worker met us in that situation?
Wow.
And in my head, what would have happened if I had stepped out with the smaller one now
Yeah.
and they appeared? What would have happened? At least what has happened is that all of us were sitting down there and crying, and nothing is being solved.
Mm.
So imagine the trauma on that small child that
Yeah.
he cannot have access to his mother when
That's
he
it.
when I need my mother to just take a walk with me, she cannot do it because I have. So what these things create is that even apart from the stigma outside, there is already a stigma being created in the house.
That's it.
The younger ones or the older ones, I mean, the neurotypical siblings are feeling that they are not loved enough to be
Yeah.
offered the time and attention that their sibling with challenges is enjoying. So they even start resenting the parents, even before
Yeah.
it gets that sibling that is challenged. They are already resenting the parents for giving all the time and attention to the child that needs support.
Yeah.
And we all know the impact of household, confidence, household treatment on the confidence of a child outside.
Yeah.
So before it happens outside, even before it begins to deteriorate into affecting their mental health and self-esteem outside, it's already happening in the house.
Right. Yeah.
There's usually no way we can help it. There's usually no way we can help it. So what I am like saying is, it's coming back to what you asked. So how do we help? What do we do? What can we do in the face of things like this? I mean, we are all discussing. If anyone just has anything to add, I mean, the floor is open.
Good evening once again.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Mm, yeah, so as you are saying, it's just a frustrating situation. I could also remember some time ago, like Tiffany goes to school, and as early as 10 o'clock, they are calling me to come back and pick her.
Uh-huh.
Oh
That's
my
less
God.
than 1 hour she left for school.
I tell you, maybe I've not even gotten home, and they will tell me to
Mm-hmm.
come back and pick her. It
Mm-hmm.
was so frustrating. And it got to a time, like when I get there, I don't want to even talk to any one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say anything. I'll just rush, take her, and then I'm gone. It was so frustrating. Tiffany, no, sit down. So, I mean, there's nothing we could do by the look of things. You just need to find a way of calming yourself down and maybe
Yeah.
a plan to help the child also calm down and adjust to the situation. And as believers, we continue to ask for strength.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Thank you.
I am
Thank
very happy that thank you so much. I'm just happy when parents are, sharing their own situation, because I've known a lot of situations where the more frustration it is when a parent feels, unsafe,
Mm.
doesn't
you.
find a safe space to talk about how she is or he is feeling.
Yeah.
So I feel very happy when parents are sharing. Some of the times when I fight in public, not like fighting, like
Yeah.
some of the times when I
Challenging
confront people
ideas.
Mm.
Yeah.
public, is that I do it because I know that some parents will not be able to do it. And the more you cannot do it, the more frustrated it is.
Mm.
So when I fight bearing in mind that it's not just about my child.
Yeah.
I fight for those who will not be able to even fight.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that
Mm.
is one. And another is, let us talk about this hope in God that you mentioned. It's true that a lot of people these days shy away from acknowledging their spiritual aspect. But I tell you that this aspect has been the only thing that is making us going. Me, I will talk
Yes.
about it, is one thing that has kept me going. Like it kind of gives you the strength. It
Yeah.
kind
It
of,
grounds you.
yes, that hope in the glory, that hope in
Yeah.
something, that hope and the gratitude that's despite this thing, despite this one single thing, there are still so many ways that your creator has shown you how much he loves you.
Yeah.
That even in the midst of this thing, he still shows you a lot of things, even surrounding this particular thing, that
Yeah.
still eh, is a very big sign of his love for you.
That's true.
So I trust fully that if we should, somehow acknowledge this aspect of us, it kind of makes things a little bit easier. It kind of uh, transfers, it tells you that you are not just alone. I have always seen prayer as a sign of humility, as
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as a sign of vulnerability, showing that you are vulnerable. It's a sign of humility, knowing that it's not something I can do alone. I need help. Ehen.
Exactly.
And who
And it's
is
not
it?
my fault. You know,
Yes.
it's not
Yeah.
my fault. God knows it
Uh-huh.
from the beginning. You
Yeah.
know, I spoke to a parent a few days ago. She was supposed to be here. And one thing she said that was she said at the beginning, I was so overwhelmed, I didn't know what to do. But
Yeah.
after spending time in prayer, she said, I was relieved
Yes.
knowing that God trusted me, just me,
Uh-huh.
to be able to handle his own special angel. So he said,
Imagine.
how can God just trust me? He said there must be something special about her that God will look around and say, oh, she's the one that
Yeah.
she's going to trust with his special angels. So because they are special to God, and God has to
Exactly.
place them in a place where they can be fully taken care of, fully supported, fully loved in spite. So she was not saying a lot of things, how the child bring joy, how the child will see the one, he's the one that see through her facade, hold
Yeah.
her, hug her, even when the neurotypical children are
And
making
not even
demands.
mind. Yeah. Yes.
uh, that child is the one that's very sensitive to her emotional needs. You
Imagine.
understand? So that's kind of come to what we are talking about. That how do we distort this feeling of the absorbing, internalizing all the negativity, like what you describe about one child wanting to go out, another child, you get to the point someone will feel useless. You
Yes.
feel overwhelmed. You feel like, what? I don't think I'm cut out for this. But over the time, this same child will be your anchor in the moments that you feel like breaking down. And
Yes.
this father that will hug you so tight that even other human being around you cannot give you. That's anchor.
Yes. That
They will
comfort.
be the one that will just out of blue moon. Everybody is like, oh, because you are the strong one, you're the one that has to meet the need, but they're the one that just go out of their way, like, are you okay, mom? Or if they are not able to voice it out, they just hug you and just kiss you. Well, you know, they just catch you on a way. And you just realize that there's a way God will, through this one, hold you together.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are very sensitive. Yeah, yeah. That's beautiful. I sent her, she's my prophet. Let me read that out. That is so beautiful. That's so beautiful. So she's saying her daughter is very sensitive to her feelings as well. And she called her prophetess and her joy. Wonderful, wonderful.
Imagine. Imagine.
Wonderful. Imagine, because this is one person that is unconditional. You understand? This is one person that loves you beyond every other thing. Even they forgive those moments you can't meet up. They don't even remember. You understand? So
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing. And these are moments that break that belief, that thing that make us to question our parenting, to question our
Yeah.
our effectiveness. You understand? So it's very important to acknowledge those areas. And another thing that I want to encourage us with is also, in spite of everything, personally, you are the advocate of your child. You're the one that God has given that assignment to.
Amen.
So everybody else can have their own opinion, or if they are professional, they are following the book.
Guidelines.
One thing I have always said as an advocate is that you don't know my child more than me.
Yeah.
So I have to learn so much and tell them what to do. So it's very important that we get those knowledge, because already we know the quirks of our children. We know many things. So somebody that does not have a clue, okay, I will read that out. Somebody that does not have a clue, who is maybe doing their work just as a job, you
Yes.
will not allow their one
Opinions.
of opinion to
Mm.
now break you down. We've got to build our self up from the inside and teach them the needs of our children. You
Yeah.
Yeah.
understand?
So,
We sit at that table. After we've listened, then we bring out our points and tell them that this is how you can meet my daughter's need or my son's
mm,
needs. It's very important.
mm,
So most of the time, people are going to start throwing whatever, but they don't care more than you about your child. They don't.
mm,
These things I've had to work with it, and they listen to you. Okay, they want to help. At the beginning, they want to intimidate because maybe they have read one book or another, and they want
mm,
to generalize. But in neurodiversity, there is no generalization.
Mm.
It's individualized. And me taking care of this womb personally, I have more information, I have more experience, and you've got to listen to me how we need to work around this. You
mm,
understand? So that's when we have that audacity and confidence to be able to break it down, and then they listen to us. That's I think that the way is going is be building or trying to erode our confidence. That is breaking down. You understand? As we identify it, we bring the truth to break those limiting beliefs, so that we are whole enough, we are strong enough to advocate for the needs of our children.
So can I come in?
Pizza. Huh?
Yes.
Yes, so based on what you were saying about sometimes professional trying to let parents tell parents how to deal with their wards, their children, because they've read books or because of maybe the acts and policies and stuff that they work along with. With my experience in working as a support worker, and also my sister has a child who has learning disabilities, autistic. I've come to realize that sometimes we're working with professionals, they don't really know your child, as you were saying, and you know what works best for the child, but they would
Yeah.
be using maybe the laws, the policies, the rules that do things this way and not this way. But then what
Exactly.
happens is what they impose on you does not work for the child. And so at the
Exactly.
end of the day, if you use that, it gets the child more agitated. But you
Exactly.
have a way of
Of meeting
dealing with
that
your
need.
child, and then
Yeah.
the child understands it more better, and then things goes the way you want it for both you and the child.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I've seen is with my sister's child, I realized that my sister was getting too overwhelmed with
Mm.
when I had first come to the country, she had just had a baby, but we both didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
And so I think few months afterwards, I went into supported living. Then that's when I realized that the child was had a learning disability. So
Yeah.
then I had to talk to her, but she didn't even want to, like we talk about stigma and stuff. She didn't want to
Of course.
accept it. And then
Accept it.
later on, after explaining things to her, she accepted it. And then through that, we got like support and stuff. But when but with the support that she was getting, she wasn't really understanding the kind of rules they were giving her to deal with her child. So sometimes when parents are being told what to do, they need to also try to cancel the parent, so that it's not like just imposing things on the parent, because already the parent is already overwhelmed with the situation. And families are also saying things, friends are saying things. Sometimes, like we talked about school, you take your child to school, and even the teachers who understand things better about learning disability, they make some comments and you feel like this isn't right. But
Yeah.
what can you do? And so I think with the professionals or whoever is dealing with the laws and everything, they have to come to the level of parents and understand that every parent is different, every child is different. So what
Exactly.
works for one child does not work for another child. What works for one
Mhm.
parent does not work for another parent. And
That's
so if we are able to do things that way, then we don't impose other things on parents to make them more overwhelmed. Like my nephew, for instance, sometimes my sister doesn't really understand him. He can just go like, he's coming to give her a hug, but when she sees him come, she feels frightened because she thinks maybe he wants to attack her.
yeah.
So initially I didn't know that was the situation. So when she sees him coming, she hides. So I said to her,
Mhm.
no, you don't need to hide, because when you hide, it's going to make him feel like you are scared of him. And because he
Exactly.
doesn't understand it, he might also try to come to you, and you might also try to say, I want to prevent him from attacking me. And then
Yeah.
it agitates him. And then
Yeah.
before you know, something
Hap-
triggers.
Yeah.
So I keep talking to her, and she's like, she doesn't understand, and she's been asking for help. But it's like nobody is trying to help her. So yesterday, for instance, she said to me, Tina, I don't know if I've done anything to anybody. So maybe I did somebody some wrong. That is why I have to get a child like this. I was like, you did nobody no wrong.
Now she needs to come into this kind of uh, networking, into this kind of
Mm,
support network,
mm,
because
Yeah.
when she's
It's
all she has not been able to embrace the situation. She's still like what we have talked about. So she's still allowing, she has absorbed all the negativity, she has internalized it, and now it has become a trauma inside of her. So she has not gotten to a point of releasing herself of that and actually taking the position of not guilt, with what she's saying now, she feels guilty. She feels that it's her fault because those are the things that she has been hearing. Those are the things that she has been feeling. And whenever the child misbehaves, it's just, I remember when I started with supporting one child, she was about 3 years. And the parent was like, oh, be careful. I said, leave her alone. People are going to watch. Don't look at people. Just focus on your child. Because the meltdown that would have taken 3 minutes will end up taking 30 minutes because you are thinking of what people will say. So as we were there, the child started being agitated. In the middle of the mall, we sat down. She went down, then I sat down with her. And she was looking at me. So I focused all my attention with her. I didn't care who was looking or whatever. Then after a while, she got up and then she came with me and then we keep on walking. You understand? So, but she will need support. She will need she will need to hear from what we are talking about now, how parents have gone through, because all of us, one way or the other, we've gone through, we have our moments of breaking down, we have our moments of thinking what's going on. You understand? How did we get here? And we've had our moments of letting go and actually embracing and finding a way out of it, navigating it. You understand? And becoming an advocate. Because when life gives you lemon, you make lemonade out of it. You don't allow it to overwhelm you. So one of the reasons we are dealing with these beauty bridges is to be able to break that stigma, that barrier, to strip us of those things that make us to feel small, because we have the opportunity to be the one to steward a child specially crafted by God. You understand? So she needs that to be able to connect. You understand? For her to know that, yeah, it can be challenging, but that's not the end. And in the midst of it all, there's something brilliant, wonderful. We've talked about our wonderful sister here, Mr. Esther, have talked about calling her daughter her prophetess, her joy, because she's the one that see beyond everyone else. She's the one that come and say, Mom, are you okay? I love you, Mom. You know, that I love you that just come without you feeling, it just like, Mom, I love you. Just break down your defense. You understand? Probably there's something that was just welling up inside of your heart. Now, even if they can't just express it, they just hug you from behind and just put their head on you, It's so comforting. So she needs to come out of her closet. It is not the end of the world. It's not her. If you please, at the end, please send this recording to her. It is not her fault. It's not, she did not do anything wrong. She did not wrong anybody. You understand?
Because, like my nephew, for instance, the last time I saw my nephew was about a month ago, but then I had not seen him like in 5 years. Because I went to America. The last time I saw him, I was going to America when I went to say goodbye to them. And because I've been working along with the mother, I didn't know that he had me, like, he loved me or something. I don't know how to express it. So when I went to see him, 2 months ago, a month ago or so, he just, the mom just said, Auntie is here. He just came and he hugged me. And when he hugged me, I was surprised. I was like, and the mom was like, do you remember, Auntie? And I was like, I thought he forgotten about me. But then he remembers the things I used to do with him. So he took my hand, he took me to his room, and then he was showing me like stuff. And so I was like, does he really recollect all those times we used to be together? And yeah, and I think he also knows I understand him better. So when I was around, when he needs something, he pulls my hand and he takes me where the thing is, because I think he thinks I understand him better, and then wherever so the mom was a bit like surprised, like, I'm the one who has been here with you doing things for you. Why this woman just comes around and and then you
because you can sense the mom anxiety. You can sense the like mom is always like, oh my God, you understand. But you, because you are in the field, it doesn't really it's not a big deal to you. You understand? And normally, like what we are saying, socially, mom will be like, oh, what will people say? We'll be looking around instead of focusing on the child. So all those things, they are very sensitive. They know that, sometimes they feel that they are your problem. Those that can express themselves, sometimes they ask. You understand that?
Yeah, with him, for instance, he's not verbal. He only says words. Like he can mention a name.
One,
two. But he can't make a sentence.
Their body language and the way they act, they could able to express themselves. You understand? So yeah, these are the things that we take into consideration. We've heard from mothers that we've been at a point that it was so overwhelming, but people are getting slowly, and the children don't just remain like that. I don't know if you have experienced some improvements that you never thought would happen. You understand? You never thought.
Like example is he never used to speak. He couldn't say a word.
Yeah.
He couldn't say a word. He couldn't understand anything. I remember one time the mother had traveled to Ghana. I was staying with them and then taking care of the house while she had gone to Ghana. And then the younger sister came to me and she was like, Auntie, my brother is on the window. And when I went, he has climbed the window and the window was open.
Wow.
And yes, but now he understands things better, and then if he sees danger, he knows this is danger.
It knows danger.
And he can even pull your hand to go and tell you that this thing, like he can't express it, but when you go there, you know that this thing is a dangerous thing, and he's telling you that you need to get rid of this thing or that. But initially, he didn't have any idea of what danger was.
You see? So, and those are milestones that should be celebrated. You understand? Those are milestones that should be celebrated. It's not just all negative,
Yeah.
Madam Ijoma, thank you so much, Sister Tina, Minister Tina, for that wonderful inputs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tina. This makes a lot of, it gives parents hope,
Yes.
At that beginning, they think that it's going to always remain like that.
Yes.
But with things like this, they know that it will take time, but it will surely happen.
Eventually.
It might take time, but it surely happens, Even if not completely the way you want it. What I think is that when you build the relationship, communication is always not just by word.
No, I think by words is just about 20%. The 80% come from other parts of action, your body language and all that.
Yeah, and that goes back to when you talked about parents knowing their children better than professionals.
Exactly.
That level of, one-to-one kind of communication that has been built over time is not what a professional will just come today and want to start, establishing in a day or 2 days.
No.
Type of communication sometimes starts from even when you are pregnant with that child.
Exactly.
You already know who this child is, even from the time you have him or her in your tummy,
Yes.
which every mother can attest to. You can
Yes.
tell that from when you were pregnant, you already knew the personalities of your children. You already know a child who knows their onions and want to remain stick with their mindset. You
Yeah.
already know a child who is easygoing right
Exactly.
when you were pregnant. There are lots
Exactly.
of ways you have established that you relate to that child. And that is why, again, we go back to the fact that professionals, a good professional should always ask the parents, how do you do this?
How do you do this?
How
Yeah.
do you achieve that?
But this
So
is
what
one
happens?
thing I want to encourage us with as well. As a
Yeah,
parent, you
yeah,
can actually stand your ground. You
yeah,
can actually, it is, well, within the UK, you actually have the right to tell them, even if they impose something, you tell them, no, that's not going to work. And this is how. So you make them work with you. So
yes,
you don't just get, oh, because this, no, 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 no. Because one of the things is with the, as a professional, because I'm a professional, I'm a safeguarding lead as well. So there are things you need to watch out for. You understand? And
yeah,
those things where you watch out, even if it's not deep, because you're not, it doesn't have to be deep. Even if you don't understand, you have to raise the alarm
yeah,
because people have overlooked things and it has led to the death of children. You
yeah,
understand? But even in the midst of that, be open to work with them
yes,
and also establish that these are the needs of my children. So if maybe you are saying, I was use myself as an example. My daughter's things, they were focusing so much on the behavior. I
yeah,
nailed that I understand what you mean, and that is not the issue here. That's not where we are talking about. What we need is for her to be able to assess the curriculum, how we are able to build or help her achieve her potentials.
yes,
So yes, there are behavioral issues because at some point she cannot express herself. And if she's at home, she's fine. But when she go out, she has selective mutism. And because of that, when you come into her space or you try to overwhelm her with things, it comes out in behavior.
yes,
So now you have to ask me, because when things happen, are you okay? Do you need support? Do you need somebody to take? I said, nobody take care. I understand her. That's not what you are doing is triggering her. That's her triggers. And
yeah,
I told you people, don't touch her because it's a trigger. So you are not going to hold her. Give her time, speak to her. So you have to stand your ground because when it becomes a big deal, then they raise it, they escalate everything and becomes overwhelming for you. But when you, like what you say, you know your child, you don't allow them to take you off course. You stand there and say, oh, that's not how it's going to be done. Let me de-escalate it this way. It's okay. Leave it now. I'm going to speak to her. I know you know how to de-escalate your child when they have a meltdown. And
yes,
you have to, you know, always explain that. Otherwise, you're going to lose your grip because when they can't handle it anymore, they push it back to you and point the finger to you that they must be
yes, and make
sleeping.
it like
That
it's your
you
fault.
understand. Exactly. So if we have this knowledge and also it is allowed to question whatever is being given to you. You don't just accept it. You have the right to question it and say, this is not working for us. We try another way? It's very important. So it's not just, we don't have to be afraid because this has to do with the well-being of our child. And that's what matters most. It doesn't matter what they want to do with us. You understand? It's a time when I see I saw that things were so overwhelming for my daughter at school. I withdrew him. We withdrew her. And I was told I was going to be, I said, please take me to tribunal because I'm waiting. You understand why? Because the system they put in place was not meeting the need of my child. So they have to reassess. You understand? So it's allowed for you to challenge things that's not working for your child. I hope that's helped.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
All right. We have our wonderful sister, mom, professional, no stress. I know she just came in. We are rounding up now. We've talked about identifying how we feel the stigma and then how we internalize it and the truth of breaking it. And we've been discussing, every one of us have spoken about our personal challenges as well. So I don't know if you have a word before we just be rounding up. We don't want to go overboard much. If you're okay, thank you.
Good evening, ma. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Mama.
I'm so sorry. I couldn't. I was looking for the passcode, and so I just stay on YouTube anyway.
Okay.
Thank you all for joining tonight, and it's really good for that we all come together, put heads together to enlighten ourselves. For me, I have managed to catch up with some of the ways, and mine is not going to be too much because time is going, and also I think we are all said most of it, and parents should know how they communicate or handle the situation of their child, and in times of meltdown. And there's nothing to be ashamed about. I listened to one of our sister here saying that our sister used to like blaming herself or
Yeah.
feeling guilty
Yeah.
if she have wronged anyone. Yeah.
Mm.
I think there's no parents that have not done that, but you have to come out of it.
Yes.
Yeah, because when you continue like dwelling in that kind of situation, the mindset of, oh, have I offended anybody? At the end of the day, your mental health is just going to drop down, and you will not be able to focus on that child.
Yeah.
And these are the kind of mothers, parents that we need in this kind of awareness that we are all creating now. And for me, there was a time before I met Mommy Adesuwa, and I have a very big challenge. Talking about professional that most professional they just claim the role, but they don't really know, they don't understand what they are doing. And if I was having the understanding and the awareness that I have now, I could have sued that school at that time. But I don't know. My child she was still very young at that time, and she was excluded from school. Nothing. She was just in an early diagnosis, all because it's not that she's aggressive, just because when she go out to play with the other children in the garden, she don't want to put on a socks. She don't want to wear shoe. And she formed attachment with one of the teachers there. So it's like the school we are not, the preschool, it was a preschool recession. They were not happy about it. And only for me, the worst part of it, I was having a meeting on that very day with the educational board, coming to the school to talk about the early diagnosis that she have, what to do. She was there. That was the funny part. I got there, and I was just told, oh, the meeting will not go on again today. You need to take your child. She can no longer come to the school. Just like that.
Just like that.
I cry. I
Ah.
cry myself. I was asking them what happened. There's no explanation than what I just said now. I cry. I took her And I was asking the lady that came from the council, I said, did you hear what they are saying? What are we doing? They were all just, she was just telling me, I'm sorry. But sometimes when I still remember how they treated my daughter and myself that day, I feel like doing something. I don't feel like just keeping quiet like that, because I have their name, even the lady from the council that when I have his name, you know, and she was the professional. I expected her to I
advocate for
expected
that
her to
child and
stand
for
for
yourself
me
as well.
and
Yes.
to even get, it's like they did the meeting already before I arrived
Before you
there.
arrived,
They
yeah.
made their own decision. So I don't know. So there are some situations like that that was how this was what led me to know Mommy Adesuwa. This 2015. At that time, I went through a lot. So there are a lot of way that professional they are just like there, as Mommy Adesuwa said, you the parents have to tell them, no, let's try it this way. You have to give them your own way as well. Because some of them they are just there, they don't really know what they are telling parents to do. So there's a lot of way, and the stigma at that time, it was not only on me, it was like everyone at all, everyone around me, it affected us in different ways.
Yes, in different ways, yeah.
Yeah, but for today, I will just cut it short that like that, and I'll pick from what other people talk about. We'll talk about it more next time. Thank you all
Thank
so
you so
much.
much. Thank you. That's
Yeah.
so wonderful. You know, these
Sorry,
are
but
things.
bad noise.
These are things that parents that have younger children that are going through the same things, they need to have this awareness so that they don't crumble. They need to hear from parents that have gone through it, and they need to be able, like, I've supported parents and I've encouraged them to take the local authority to tribunal. But I wasn't having that understanding when my child was not in school. I would have taken them to tribunal. They would have put her in an independent school when the school available was not meeting her needs. But I didn't have the understanding, I didn't have the awareness. You understand? So, like what our sister have just expressed, because if she had knew her rights then, she would have took them, she would have sued them, because they don't have right to build that kind of rejection against a child. You understand? Because their duty was to find every which way. All children are important. So they have to find a way to make sure. Imagine if, God forbid, as she was broken down, she was crying, and she was driving with a child in her car. What do they expect? You understand? Because this is on them. You have to also understand that the parent is emotionally stressed. So this, any professional that come across this is also for you or for us to have this sensitivity when we are dealing with parents with neurodivergent children. We don't just say things anyhow. We don't just give verdict anyhow. We don't just, because when you feel that, okay, there's a certain form of protection you feel towards that child. And when you feel that that child is being ostracized or rejected, it breaks your heart. You understand? So, as much as you are being professional, be sensitive, be empathizing to a parent that is in that situation. So, thank you, Mame, for joining. I'll share the YouTube with you so that you have an understanding of what we've discussed today. And we're just going to round off now because we are 8 minutes over. But I will give thank you, Minister Esther, Minister Tina, for all you have contributed. So wonderful. It gave us more awareness. And you can see that from each point of view is so unique. The challenges are unique, the response are unique, and the outcome are unique. So there's no one case that solves everything. You understand? So, and that's where we need to advocate for our own unique children as well. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ijema, do you have anything to say as we round up?
Thank you so much. It's been a very wonderful session. And I encourage us to keep, bringing things up like this. Even if not here, we are sure that the internet is keeping all of this information and using it to strengthen people going through these situations. Like Madam Faith is always reminding us, we will have to work towards making this a conference.
Yes.
Where parents will come, share their life experience, and especially target parents that are newly diagnosed. Because
Exactly.
all of these are experiences will be lost if we don't use it to help another.
To help others, yeah.
What took us 5, 6, 7 years to go through, let that person go through it in less than 2 months.
Exactly.
Let's shorten their own suffering. Let's brighten their own days. Make the
And
burden
strengthen them to be able to, like, I'm going to walk through this with strength and with confidence. Yeah.
Because someone has to do that job. That we are women today, we can go to work, we can vote, is all out of some other person's, work and suffering.
Yeah.
We have worked this work. That's why we are using this platform to say, let other people not work it as long as we work it.
Thank you.
As the sciences,
let us encourage others, and let us, as we plan towards the conference, let us reach out to our community so that by the time it's time for the conference, we have enough people that will be able to attend and have that one-to-one support.
Yes, very good. So thank you so much, everyone. We hope to meet you again next week. But I'm still.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.